just imagine energy bills up to 15 times more than normal. Well, as winter approaches, that's what Europeans are facing in the worst energy crisis in modern history.
It's because of Europe's move toward green energy and a greater dependence on Russian fuel. America could be facing a similar crisis if the White House gets its way with 100% green energy within the next 13 years. Dale Hurd explains.
Some Europeans are so angry over sky-high energy bills, they're burning them. Others are starting to gather firewood for winter. These are some of the wealthiest nations in the world, and yet citizens are wondering if they're going to be able to heat their homes when the weather turns cold. London's mayor is warning that millions won't be able to afford food or heat this winter.
We're at prices which are 10 to 15 times the 10-year average. People can't afford to pay that much for their energy bills.
Europe's closure of hundreds of power plants in favor of wind and solar and its decision to rely on Russia for 40% of its natural gas have backfired badly. The Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines from Russia to Germany are both offline now after being rocked by an explosion last week, what is suspected to be sabotage. Germany was warned repeatedly by then-President Donald Trump that it was making a big mistake by turning to Russia for energy, including this speech at the United Nations in 2018.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course.
Germany's UN delegation appeared to laugh at Trump's warning. They're not laughing in Germany now. Dr. Holger Thus in Germany is the president of the European Institute for Climate and Energy.
It's crazy. Everybody's afraid of the upcoming winter. And nobody really knows what's going to happen. And nobody also knows where the energy is going to come from.
Businesses across Europe that can no longer afford their monthly energy bills are shutting down. The value of the euro and the British pound have dropped dramatically. And despite an energy crisis that has turned into an economic crisis, European nations are continuing to close and dismantle nuclear reactors. 10 years ago, Germany had 17 nuclear reactors. It's decided to keep only 2. And only as backups. America should learn a lesson from Europe's energy crisis, but the Biden administration seems to be going down the same road. The White House wants America on 100% green energy in just 13 years. And congressional Democrats continue to pressure banks to stop funding the oil and gas industry.
Answer with a simple yes or no. Does your bank have a policy against funding new oil and gas products? Mr. Diamond.
Absolutely not, and that would be the road to hell for America.
It has certainly been the road to economic hell in Europe, which is now bracing for a winter of social unrest. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
We're all listening to Jamie Dimon. It would be the road to hell. We've had energy independence for some time. You go back to the Bush administration. They really incentivized new drilling, and that was for environmentalists, that was sort of the worst thing you could do. But what it did is it really cemented in our economy low energy prices. This past year, we've had to deal with very high gas prices, high natural gas prices, and all of these things have really impacted inflation. So we're understanding the wisdom of saying we need energy independence. Whatever sources they are, you need it for a vibrant economy. If you put our economy on some kind of 13-year fast track to be all green, I've already heard from the energy experts, there's not enough land to put the solar farms. There's not enough land to put the wind farms. You're going to run into some pretty severe technological issues trying to do that. So how can we get off of coal, get on natural gas, get on things that aren't as pollution oriented, and let's try to carve a soft landing into an energy independence, and again, let me underline independence, that makes sense economically and is driven by both sides of the equation. The one to reduce fossil fuel dependence, but at the same time keep our economy humming. Europe didn't do that, and you're seeing the after effects of it. Back in 2018, Germany said there's no way there's ever going to be a problem with Russia. Well, they were absolutely wrong, and their dependence on that natural gas pipeline is really hurting them today, and it's hurting all of Europe today. Let's look at what is happening to them and say, not us, let's go a different way.